Hey everyone. So Hasbro has announced that their newest HasLab for the G.I. Joe classified line is going to be a Cobra H.I.S.S tank. Is it going to get funded? Let's talk about it. All right. So this video is being made a few hours after they announced that they were going to do this G.I. Joe classified H.I.S.S tank, Cobra H.I.S.S tank, as a HasLab. And I just am wondering, is it going to get backed? But let's look at the news. What did they announce? Let's give a little bit of information there. So what they ended up doing was announcing that the Cobra H.I.S.S tank and a driver would be $299.99, so $300. Now there's going to be taxes and a little bit more involved, so it'll end up probably being closer to $340-ish when it's all said and done. And as I look online, some people are totally in on that and some people not so much. And if you've got the money to do it, there it is. And $300, which we'll probably end up having at least two. Well, we know that it'll most likely, if it gets backed quickly enough, it'll have at least two figures and then probably a third figure as well. So $299, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on this particular price, but it is a large vehicle that we don't have hardly anything of in the G.I. Joe classified line. So I don't think that that price is too bad. I wish it was a little bit lower. If it was $199, I think that they probably would have already funded it. But let's take a look at what else they announced. So they also said that they need 8,000 backers by August 15th, and there is an early bird special figure. If they have, what is it? If they get all 8,000 backers by 11:59 on July 6th, which will be 1 week, 7 days after they announced it, there is going to be an early bird figure. So we know there'll be a second figure if they can reach this goal. And that second figure is going to be this um, prototype H.I.S.S tank driver that they are calling something a little bit different. I forget what they're calling it, like the Cobra. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch the video again to remember, but they're calling it something special. It's not the H.I.S.S tank driver. Now you might say, well, that looks like the H.I.S.S tank driver. Let's zoom in just a little bit. It's a little bit different, and this is based on the artwork by Ron Rudat, who, this is the only artwork that I could find online for his design for the H.I.S.S tank driver. Now, what they also announced was, when we go back and look at this figure, obviously this is a 3D render. It's not what the figure is going to look like, but it looks like bronze. And so in the announcement, they also said that the final paint job for this, and it even says right here on the page, the final deco is going to be decided by the end of the campaign. So if this gets backed, if they can get 8,000 backers in 1 week, this will be a bonus figure. And this bonus figure will, the color scheme on this bonus figure will be voted on by the fans, voted on by the people that are backing the project. So this is, like I said, the original design by Ron Rudat. I couldn't find any colors, and they said that the reason why they didn't put any colors on that one bonus figure was because they were going to allow people to vote, and there were a number of different color schemes that Ron Rudat put together when he made this original design. So it's so far it's a pretty good deal in my mind. But let's take a look at the H.I.S.S tank itself. Let's take a look at that. So here we go. So here's a nice picture of, and all of these pictures, by the way, on their Instagram account are 3D renders. They showed a mock-up model that was made out of resin. It was all gray scale. So they did show quite a bit of the tank, but here it is. So let's look at the size of it. So we've got our 6-inch figure here, the H.I.S.S tank driver. We can see that it's probably about, I don't know, when it's all said and done, maybe about 10 inches tall when it comes to the top. I know there's some measurements right here, but those numbers are super, super small for me to read. and it's got there's a nice picture of the HISS tank driver. I do like that color scheme. It's pretty true to the original. One thing that I did like about it was they said that they were going to give the HISS tank driver fists, like closed fists, and the idea was that if the HISS tank was broken down and the driver didn't have any weapons and had to jump out, he would have to fight the Joes with his bare hands, with his fists. I wish they would make more figures come with extra hands. That's the one thing. It doesn't matter what line it is, whether it's G.I. Joe or Marvel Legends or Star Wars Black Series, more hands so that we could get different poses and different settings would be nice as well. And the closed fist is one that I would vote for every time. It seems like a nice little thing that they could add to their figures. So there's the driver. It's also going to have a lighting system. So you can see that there's a little button on the bottom of the front of the tank where you can adjust the lights in a number of different ways. And they showed that off in the video. So there's a light on the inside of the cockpit here. You've got the headlights. You've even got this little Cobra symbol on the front that projects down onto the ground. And in the video, it actually did a pretty nice job of projecting that Cobra symbol down onto the ground. There's also tail lights as well, and you can adjust these in different ways. So I like all the different lighting systems. That just kind of makes things come to life just a little bit more. That's probably why the price tag is closer to $300 than it is to $200. And on the back, there's going to be a tail door that opens, a back door that opens, and you can fit, really, it looks like you can only fit maybe one figure in there. And then there's also going to be a weapons rack. Now, one thing that they made a big deal about and they were super excited about was the fact that these treads actually move. And that is a pretty cool feature, but I got to say, that's not that big of a deal. They were making a huge deal out of it in the video itself, but I've actually 3D printed a classified scale, 6-inch scaled HISS tank myself, and I was able to get the treads to move on my HISS tank that I just printed in my basement. So I didn't think that was that big of a deal. I am curious to know if these treads will be rubber, kind of rubberized, or if they will be more plastic, but the treads will move. Oh, and there is a light on the inside in this little storage area as well, the troop carrier. The inside of the cockpit is pretty cool. Like I said, it lights up, and the two sides of the canopy actually flip up so that you can, I think they were saying, climb in through the side, or it will just flip up straight up on its own as well. So let's see if I can find a picture of that. There's a harness on the inside, the lighting on the inside. There's the treads that they were talking about and making a big deal about. They do look nice, I will say that. And there's a lot of this red trim on it as well. I'm not sure if I like that quite as much, but it's not too much on the outside. I think it fits in with everything. These lights back here do light up as well. And on the inside, you can see that there's a seat that's adjustable, I guess for taller figures or shorter figures. I'm not sure about that fit on the inside as well. They also were making a big deal about this engine and how it also comes from Mars. Like there's either a Mars symbol on it or some kind of marking that comes from Mars, which is the company that Destro owns. So those are all the pictures that they released on Instagram. I'll go back and kind of show the original picture of this. The figure is really nice. I think that matches really well. So there is the HISS tank. So what do I think about it? I think it is a pretty awesome vehicle. I was kind of hoping that they would do a different kind of vehicle because we've seen HISS tanks quite a bit, but the HISS tank is pretty cool. I like the fact that it is very true to the original design. They didn't update it. I kept talking about, oh, it needs a classified update. Well, they updated it a little bit. With some of the different little things they added on. Like I said, the canopy is a little bit different, and some of this armor on the side near the treads is a little bit different. But overall, it's pretty true to the original vehicle, the true vehicle that we actually have seen in the 3 3/4 inch line a couple of times, a black one and then also a blue one. So some people out there are kind of complaining that we've seen this vehicle so many times, give us something different. And hopefully if this does well, we will see something different. We'll probably see something on the Joe's side of things, whatever that may be. So I like this vehicle a lot. Now, am I going to back it? Do I have an extra $300 sitting around? Well, I think initially my gut says yes. I have been saving up some money. I do think I'm going to back this. I have not yet, but it's only been a few hours since it was announced. And let's take a look. Is it going to be backed? Well, if we go to Hasbro Pulse, you can see right here, they've got it. Cobra HasLab has taken over, a Cobra HasLab takeover, and they show a picture right there. If you go to back this project, you can see that this is the page itself. And here is the early bird special. So the early bird special, if it's fully funded before July 6th, then they will get that bonus figure. And as you can see, they are at 5,000 backers just a few hours after it was announced. So I think with what 6.5 days to go, because we've got at least a week to get the bonus, the early bird special. I do believe that this is going to get backed. In fact, my gut tells me that this will get backed with the bonus figure as well before July 6th. I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't get backed by the weekend. It is July 4th weekend coming up, so some people may not be jumping online, but to purchase these. But I'll tell you what, in just a few hours, they're already at 5,000 of the 8,000 backers that they need in that first week. Like, it's got 47 more days to go. I really think it will get backed fully in those 47 days. The big question becomes, does it get backed in a week to get that bonus figure? There are also going to be 4 tiers of bonus features if they are reached. So tier, they haven't announced those yet, but 4 tiers, that leads me to believe that there's at least one more figure in there. There may be something, as we go through some of these pictures, there may be something that gets what am I thinking of? Something that maybe can trail behind. There is a hitch on the backside. Oh, they did talk about this. If you can, I'm not sure if you can see it, but right here, there's something that kind of sticks out that could be an add-on feature. They mentioned that in the video as well. My gut tells me that this little add-on feature will be one of the tiers. Something that they have in mind will probably be one of the tiers if it gets fully funded in that way. So you can see that this is much further along. In fact, it's got more backers right now, I believe, than the Star Wars Black Series Riva lightsaber has right now, which is kind of unfortunate that that lightsaber is not going to get funded. I think the Star Wars team might have to go back and think about what their HasLab offerings are, but sometimes they're a little bit restricted, I'm sure, by what the higher ups say. But bottom line is, do I think this will get backed? Absolutely, I think it will get backed. Is it going to get to its 8,000 backers to get to the bonus early bird special in a week? I think that it will. And then the last question I guess I would ask myself is, am I going to back it? And I think the answer is yes. I think I'm going to back this one. I do have the money for this, and I guess I could always back out if I had to, if something came up and finances became tight. But I think I'm going to back this. And then as long as I keep my backing, the next question would then be, do I get 2 of them? Because I know that most of these HasLab projects that get backed are very well sought after on the secondary market by a lot of people. So maybe I can make a little bit of money back. I don't know. Maybe that's the right thing. At the very least, I know I could probably sell it for what I paid for it if I needed that money. But having 2 of these tanks would be pretty great as well. So those are my thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified Series HasLab, the Cobra H.I.S.S tank that they just announced. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Are you going to back this? Is this too much? Should they have done something different? Is the HISS tank, have we already seen too many of these versions of the HISS tank, or is this exactly what you were looking for in a HasLab, GI Joe classified HasLab project? Just let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments, and hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you have a great day.